You can beat any addiction with patience. If you can outweigh your addiction, you can win. Patience is key. The Buddha said that patience is the highest asceticism. It means it's the highest practice you can have in your tool bag. When you are addicted, whether it's to porn, to cigarettes, to food, to drugs, to alcohol, whatever the case might be, when you can just wait until that trigger fades, you can beat the addiction. Now, it's very simple in its process. It's not necessarily easy, but if you have the discipline to outweigh that trigger, to outweigh that anticipation, do not forget that the anticipation part is where our brain releases the most dopamine. That's why it is so hard not to indulge. It is so hard not to resist. It is so hard not to succumb. But you have to understand that most addictive substances, whether it's drug, cocaine, any type of addiction, any type of substance, the trigger is where your brain releases more dopamine in your nervous system. It's not when you do it. It's not when you're masturbating. It's not when you're eating. It's not when you're having sex. It's not when you're drinking alcohol. The anticipation is where you have the highest drop of cheap dopamine. And that's why your craving centers in your brain wants you to go along and indulge. But if you can just outweigh this moment instead of giving in, instead of anticipating, you can just be patient. You can just outweigh that trigger. You can tell yourself, put a timer on 10, 15 minutes where you distract yourself with something else, where you do something completely opposite to this. And even by doing so, you can get focused in 5 minutes and the trigger will move along to something else. That trigger will fade. It is that powerful. You don't even need meditation or letting go. You can just distract yourself, think about something else, do something else, and it will fade. Now, obviously, as I said, it's simple in its process. It's not necessarily easy, and it does not mean that you will not fail. On the contrary, you will fail many a time. But it does not mean that it's not powerful because if you can do this even once, you can be so proud of yourself and celebrate that small win. It will give you the confidence to do it again and again and again. But you need to understand that path of quitting an addiction is not linear. But every time you accumulate these small wins, you have more and more confidence. So do not worry so much about falling off the bandwagon, failing. You have to celebrate the wins and not be discouraged when you fall off the bandwagon. You have to understand that it comes with the territory. So when you celebrate the wins and forsake the failures because they happen, you can build confidence over time. That is when you can simply beat an addiction. That's all I have to do. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Sebastian, your addiction recovery coach, and I'm here to help those of you who want to give up porn, desexualize their mind, and other addictions as well. Links in the description box below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon.